Polished concrete, transition and filling pinholes. Polished concrete really lends itself to plenty of opportunity and endless possibilities. In this case, we have done some decorative score cutting, and the coloring that you see was achieved using a water-based dye. In addition, we had some unfortunate existing cracks in the concrete, and rather than try to mask them and hide them or make them go away, we simply filled them with an interesting metallic copper joint filler just to give it some added character, which really looks nice against the dyed sections and the exposed aggregate floors. Also in the middle circle here, we tried a different texture just to give it some interest, which was a medallion done with a stamped overlay. The purpose of this video is to talk about transitioning from finished floor on the left onto the floor that we're working on the right here. We have 3000 grit polished on this side, and you always want to go over your contraction joint roughly 24 inches like we've done here. So now when we come back and we transition on the right side, by having that room, we're able to step in an inch or two each grit. So we started with a 25 grit, we went to a 40 grit, we're currently on 80 grit right now, metal, and so that gives us some room to transition into the seamless finished floor. One of the first considerations you want to do is fill your joints. In this case, we used a 2-component self-leveling colored polyurea material. That's the very first thing that we do. And then, once the material has been put into the joint, we let it sit for roughly 30 minutes. We shave it off flush and then commence to our coarse grinding. And you're left with a really attractive joint. So aesthetically, it's the way to do it. Also, it will help preserve the joints and we get less chipping. So here is a joint that was filled maybe 30 minutes ago and self-leveled. It's now time to go ahead and shave it with a floor scraper flush, and then once that sets up, we're ready to start the coarse grinding. I want to point out on the left, 24 inches past our termination point. You can see, so now when we do get around to polishing the floor on the left, we have plenty of room to come in and transition into our finished floor that we're working on now. Unfortunately, during the coarse grinding, we're dislodging some sands. The concrete that we have here has what we call a screening sand, which is very angular. It's not rounded like a natural sand. And the end result is, unfortunately, these angular sands tend to dislodge and pop out. It really, really detracts from a nice, beautiful finished floor if you don't fill this. So I highly advise that you fill these voids with a mortar of some sort. So our next video, we're going to show you how to make your own formula and fill this with a grout so your floors look beautiful and you can take them over the top, which is what polished concrete is all about.